to show you some tools, some crowdsourcing tools that can help any small business, but usually a small business that is just starting, okay, that has so many tasks, so many things that it needs to do to get the business running, to get those gears in motion, to start getting those customers through the door, making those sales, and providing the service that you're providing. Anybody here who has, begun that process understand that there's a lot to do, and especially if you're doing this on your own, you do need help, okay? But as we've just established, you don't have a VC who's backing you with $2 million, okay? So that's a situation where most of us are in, and here are some tools that can help you manage that and get your business going. So, let's maximize that. Presentation is about crowdsourcing, how to jumpstart your business with minimal overhead. Okay, let's start with, again, why you need to be listening at all. Again, you don't have the $1 million backing from VC. You do have a lot of tasks that need to be done to jumpstart your business or to get your business going. Are you going to put up job ads that cost money? Even Craigslist job ads cost money. Are you going to start paying salaries for people that you sort of hire for your business? Are you going to go through a filtering process, interview candidates, when you're hiring help? Are you going to go through all that and sign work contracts with them? What if the things that you need to get done for your business are not sort of long-term things, but isolated tasks? You need a video here, you need a website there, you need isolated projects and tasks. This is where crowdsourcing comes in. What is crowdsourcing, you ask? Great question. I sort of define it as traditional outsourcing. Everybody knows what that is, right? You contact a company, usually out of state, out of the country, and you solicit their services. Usually, there's a cost reduction involved in doing that. So it's outsourcing meets a distributed workforce, a wide sort of pool of talent, of service providers, of vendors. Okay, so you get access to sort of this one big pool of different providers and different talent from all over. All sort of, it's distributed, but it's all consolidated, usually on one website, on one platform, where you get access to all these different individuals and you can solicit services from them. Crowdsourcing is an umbrella term, so I'm probably sure you've heard of crowdfunding. That's one of the most popular uses of crowdsourcing, where you raise money for your projects or your business through the public. Okay, but it also refers to crowd creativity and much more things that involve using the crowd for different uses. Some examples, okay, of things that have been crowdsourced, that have been used. The crowd has been used to sort of build these things. The design for the British Royal Mint and Indian Rupee. They've put out that project for everyone to sort of submit designs, and they chose one specific design. That was a form of crowdsourcing. The website for the U.S. House of Representatives, again, any sort of government contract bid is a form of crowdsourcing, right? Where they have a project, they put it out there, and then people bid for them. Crowdsourcing is a bit different, where it's not like the business owner or the government puts up a project and then people sort of try to find me. With crowdsourcing, I find them. They're grouped together under one website, one platform. I go and I propose and I look for someone who can help me with my project or my task. Netflix tried to do something interesting. They tried to build a script, a program that would rate their movies, okay, without anybody ever having watched them. Pretty crazy. They wanted to rate movies, 4 stars, 5 stars, but sort of automatically, sort of predict what the rating would be before anybody saw the movie. So that project, they outsourced it. They tried to gauge different people, and different people sort of collaborated on trying to make that happen. What's important to remember with crowdsourcing is that you're dealing with a managed crowd, not with a mob. Okay? It's not a mob with pitchforks, it's not The Simpsons. It's kind of more like this, where you are the business, the project, and then you reach out and work individually with different members from within this crowd. Okay? Sometimes these people will collaborate with one another. When that happens, it's called open source, not crowdsourced. You know, you've heard of the term open source, where it's a lot of the software that's made today, people collaborate and they work together on that project. But this is a bit different. You have a task, you find that person within the pool, and you work with them separately. Okay, so why crowdsourcing? Why not just outsource, outsource your tasks or the help that you need? Why not just find some company that will handle it for you? Reliability, scalability, flexibility, all these things basically add up to cost effectiveness. So with outsourcing, the motivation behind traditional outsourcing is to reduce costs, right? You try to take a company, outsource some of the work that you have, it gets cheaper for you. But you lose, a lot of times you lose the quality of service. You lose the reliability. You're not always sure who you're dealing with either, okay? And once you start dealing with that sort of company or individual, you get stuck there. With crowdsourcing, it gives you that flexibility and reliability. Everyone's grouped in this one platform. They have reviews. Other people have worked with them. You can see their password. You can see their ratings. You can work with different talents, different people, different providers for every different task that you have. Okay, so it's very flexible and it's very scalable. All those things make it cost effective because it reduces your cost and it keeps it reliable and flexible. Any questions so far? Kind of feel like I'm lecturing in a classroom. I was a military instructor for a while, so if you misbehave, I'm going to start making you run around the building. Who has heard of a website called TaskRabbit? Okay, not too many, so I'm going to play their video, which sort of is an example of crowdsourcing, and this is going to be an interesting intro to the topic. Let's see if the sound will work. Nope, the sound is not working.
Between work and trying to see my friends and trying to a little bit of time outdoors, it's pretty crazy. I think TaskRabbit is fantastic. It used to be that I used TaskRabbit a lot for my job. Since I injured my knee, I'm dependent on TaskRabbits for a lot of things.
Okay, ready?
Set. Go.
A lot of people, I work a little bit more than 40 hours a week. A few hours in the morning from home, head into the office for 6 or 8 hours, and then often come home and work a few more hours in the evening. Between work and trying to see my friends and trying to get a little bit of time outdoors, it's pretty crazy. I think TaskRabbit is fantastic. It used to be that I used TaskRabbit a lot for my job. Since I injured my knee, I'm dependent on TaskRabbits for a lot of things. I use TaskRabbits for groceries, I use TaskRabbits for cleaning help, I use them for random things that I've forgotten and it's hard to get out of the house again. It's really important to me to trust the folks who are coming into my house. Knowing that TaskRabbit has done background checks on folks is fantastic. And also, I've just found with the people that I've used, they're all friendly, they all have interesting stories. And it makes me feel a lot more confident than if it was a complete stranger. It's been great. When there's something odd that we need done for work or my life, it's kind of the first thing I think about.
One thing I don't understand is how she's on crutches and she walks around freely in the apartment, but besides that,
You're overanalyzing what she said.
So you start getting the concept of crowdsourcing where, this is not even business related, right? But it could be, because a lot of you are sort of the business owner, or you have your own business and it's only you. You have a lot of things in your life that you might need help with, even if it's not business. So this is an example of crowdsourcing where you need the groceries picked up. You go onto this website called TaskRabbit. You sort of put the proposal up there, people bid for, like people will be like, hey, I'll do it for $10. And then you're like, hey, great. You read the review on that person and you hire them. Okay, it's as simple as that. And I'm showing you this because where I work, our first encounter with crowdsourcing was through TaskRabbit. We bought some IKEA furniture, big mistake, because it's impossible to assemble. So we hired someone from TaskRabbit to come over and assemble the furniture. We ended up hiring that person for completely something else because he was just such a great person and he fit the mentality of the company and everything. So we just hired him for other work. So that's our crowdsourcing anecdote. Let's get into more specific examples, okay? Because this is what the meat and bones, the tools that you can actually use to jumpstart your small business. Let's start with the crowd creativity category, where you have graphic web design work that you need done. Okay, you need a new website, you need a new logo. Again, the company I work for, we designed a new logo we went on this website, 99 Designs. We were like, hey, we need a new logo. This is our company. We need a new logo for this. We were just starting out. We were not gonna hire a graphic designer, full time or even part time to just for our logo. So we paid. You put up either it's $2.99 or $3.99, and you get bids from different people. Like, hey, how about this logo? The winning logo gets that money, gets the $400. That's how it works. Okay, that's specifically this type of website, but there are a lot of similar ones, and here are a few examples where, again, you put up some kind of design-related need, you get a lot of graphic designers, very talented people come and bid for you, you choose the design that you want, and you pay them. Okay, so it makes it kind of into a game, okay, a competition that reduces your costs, but also ensures that you get the best possible service or product. What about a video? What about a promo video of your business, of your company? There are a ton of websites. I've just listed 3 here, but they all work the same. You go to a website, you enter your video requirements. Okay, I want a video for my real estate business. And let me zoom in to here, sort of. And then it lists it there, right? I want a website launch video, this is my budget, this is my deadline, and then videographers will come in and bid for your projects. They will, they'll tell you, okay, this is my concept, this is what I'm thinking, and you get to choose. Okay, so this is the big one, crowdfunding. It's not always relevant to small businesses, but if you are looking to raise money, and you don't necessarily have to go the VC, the venture capitalist, or the angel investor route. You can solicit money, donations from the public. Okay, this is basically like going, IPO for a company, but without the whole sort of formal process. Who has heard of Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Can you enlarge that so we can read it?
Enlarge it? I think this slide, that's the. You know what? How's that?
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
Okay. So Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they're the most famous crowdfunding websites. Again, crowdfunding, trying to raise funds through the public, through the crowd. So with them, you sort of propose a project. It could be like a film project. I want to make a documentary film. This is what it's about. And you get people interested, and they sort of give you, $100. You give them perks. So for everybody who donates $100, I'll send them a T-shirt with the film logo or something like that. That's how these websites work. There's sort of 2 types of crowdfunding that you can do. A flexible campaign where you'll get all the money that people donate to you, even if you don't reach your goal, fundraising goal. Or you can do an all or nothing. So my goal is $5,000 for this project. Only if you reach $5,000, you'll get the money. Otherwise, everybody gets their money back. Okay, so it's sort of safer for the people who donate to your project. Only if it succeeds, then the money's taken from their accounts and you go on to make whatever you want to make. just to show you how big crowdfunding is today. In 2013, last year, it was a $5.1 billion market. So that sort of tells you how much money is raised through these means, okay? And it's expected to grow much, much bigger in 2014. Most of these projects that are raised through crowdfunding are sort of social cause projects, okay? But when we're talking about business here, you know, even if it says 17% of all the projects are business projects, in absolute sort of numbers, business projects have raised much more money than any other category. Okay, so maybe there's fewer businesses, but those businesses are able to attract a lot of money for what they're trying to do, just from regular people. And there's actually a very interesting sort of take on crowdfunding. So I've talked about Kickstarter and Indiegogo. These websites, you submit a proposal for a project, a campaign. Okay, I want to make a film, I want to make this product, and then you ask for money. What GitIP, GITTIP.com has started is a very interesting model, and I just thought I would share this to you, mostly because who here was or is a school teacher by any chance? Great. So I have a question for you. How do you feel about how would you feel about an opportunity to get donations from people around the country to help you sort of fund your classroom, your school, you know, as a school teacher? Where, by the way, about $400 to $500, that's the amount of money that school teachers in America spend out of pocket for resources for their classroom, for school supplies, etc. What if I told you you could, as a school teacher, go online, get donations from people who would sort of fund your classroom directly?
It would feel like a miracle.
Okay. So that's actually one project I'm working on, and GitIP sort of allows us to do that, because GitIP is not crowdfunding for projects, it's crowdfunding for people. So everybody here is doing something pretty awesome. So technically, you can make a profile on GitIP, okay, say this is what I do. You know, I make the world a better place by doing this, this, and this. And you can solicit sort of weekly allowances, you can call it. You know, someone can give you $10 a week just to do whatever you are that you're doing. Okay, so I think it's a really interesting model. You can check it out sometime, and I'll keep you updated about my Adopt a Teacher project using this. Okay, this is probably very, very useful for a lot of businesses within the category of cloud labor, a scalable workforce. So Amazon has this service called Mechanical Turk, MTurk, where you can take a task that usually involves sort of some kind of repetition or some kind of human intelligence, and the process is that you take some kind of project, it breaks it into tasks for you, okay, and sends it to a big pool of people who individually work on bits and parts of your task. So, for example, you want to go and categorize. You know, you have, let's say, you have a database of 1,000 photos. Okay, you want to categorize them by their category. By, you know, this is a photo about this is a nature photo. This is a sports photo. You want to go categorize them, whatever. You can bring that into tasks and send them to, like, Amazon sends them to 1,000 people who all just take one photo with the category on it, and then within like one day you have the task is done. Okay, so distributes one task, cuts it into small pieces, distributes it to a lot of people who all submit their result. This is great for business surveys. Let's say you put up a new website. You want to see what the reaction is, what people think about your website. You can get 1,000 people through MTurk to sort of go on your website, try to use it, and just give you their feedback. Okay, and this can all happen very quickly. One day you can reach all these people. I'll go back to this slide. Yeah, it's mturk.com. So data organization, self-categorization.